Hey, what's up, guys? Little man with a big opinion here. So, a couple of years back, I did a video very similar to this one that I'm going to do today uh, because I'm going to update some things. Uh, I think I titled it Being Prepared While on Vacation. Uh, I'll put a link to it down below, and if you'd like to go watch that one and catch the similarities and the things that are different, then we can go ahead and do that. So this coming Thursday, I gotta drive to Florida, almost all the way down to Key West. I'm doing a training with the Boy Scouts so that I can do a higher level job at the Boy Scout camp that I work at. I'm gonna be gone for between 9 and 10 days. It depends on how much driving I want to do on the way back home. But I live in northeast Texas. It's a 21-hour drive, and it doesn't really pertain much to prepping. But I'm not going to stay in a hotel. I found a state or national park, one of the two, at about the halfway point. It's either 10 or 10 and a half hours. And I'm bringing my tent. I'm bringing all the camping gear that I typically take when I go camping with my Boy Scout troop. And then I am going to bring, some, prepping supplies. Because you never want to get caught with your pants down. And be in a crappy situation. So I've got the tent, I've got a sleeping bag. I'll have about 2 weeks worth of clothes because it's an 8-day training, and a couple of days of it we're doing rescues and life-saving things in the ocean. So the first thing when it comes to prepping is I have my lifeguard certification. I've got the certification for a basic life saving. What this training does is it allows me to teach other people this same training. So I've got to go more in depth. I also have to be able to give people their first aid certification, their CPR certification, their AED certification. So on the medical front, I am upping my medical skills. I also need to take a wilderness first responder course. It's about a 15-hour course that it essentially bridges the gap between basic first aid and getting into an ambulance. It was specifically designed for providing that life support upwards of between 4 and 10 hours. So it's mostly designed for people that go backpacking and camping and hiking, that EMS isn't 15, 20, 30 minutes away. So that'll be good. The things that I'm bringing, my everyday carry stuff. I've got a flashlight, rechargeable lithium battery, pocket knife, and I call it a two-person IFAC because I have all of the supplies that would be in a regular, infantryman's individual first aid kit, and there's enough supplies in it for 2 people. So I consider myself one of those people, and if I'm in a situation where a second person is involved, then I've got the stuff for 2 people. It's kind of like the idea of 2 is 1 and 1 is none, because some of the things in there Even though it's a two-person kit, it could be serious enough that the supplies for the second person might be needed for the first person. It's one of those things that, you should definitely have one tourniquet. I think you should always have a backup. So you got two tourniquets. And you're just putting yourself in all of the what if scenarios of, well, what if I need a third and I need to have a third in the vehicle? But what if, it's, more than three people? Maybe it's a mass triage thing. So I'm going to need 5 or 6 or 7. I think that's getting a little bit excessive. I have 2. I don't think I need any more than 2. I'm doing the services for myself, and then I've got the one extra, for the person that is not as prepared as I am. I'm not going to ever be able to afford or be able to store the stuff to be prepared for, 3 scenarios like that, 4, 5, 6. I've got the 2 tourniquets, and I'm moving on to the next things. I'm bringing my 60-watt solar panel and my G-Link 300 watt hour battery bank. The one thing I really like about this car, I'm driving an 05 Lincoln Town Car, is the back windshield, that little spot above the seats. It fits that 60-watt solar panel perfectly. So I'll be able to have my phone charging. I'll be able to keep my laptop charged up. I could be charging one of those smaller, portable battery banks. It's only got USBs on it, and my flashlight. And I can be keeping that thing topped off, weather permitting. The other thing that I've been doing is research. So Northeast Texas, it gets kind of cold in the winter. I'm more worried about wet and cold. So, right now we're right in the middle of our winter, and it is very muggy and raining and wet. So rain gear is a must. I've got 2 tarps, one ground tarp and one tarp to go over the tent to make sure that I stay dry when I finally stop for the night. I don't think I'm going to bring my Coleman stove. It's a bit big and bulky, but I will bring my little butane stove. It's the backpacker size. It's the Coleman one you can get at Walmart. I've not had any issues with it. It's like a $20 stove attachment. It's made for a 1-pot setup, and I'm not going to be cooking anything extravagant that I need 2 or 3 burners for it. The only con to it, and it's not really a con in my case, because it's not something that I'm worried about weight at the moment, because they make more expensive butane stove burners, and basically the higher prices you're paying is to get a smaller platform, essentially. But going back to the research, I have 2 main routes that I can take. I should have cell phone service the entire time. I can follow Google Maps, and they do a pretty good job of updating you on construction and accidents and things like that. But I also have a, Southern United States atlas that's coming with me. And this is getting old school. I don't think MapQuest is still a thing. I just printed off, the Google map, and it basically tells you, every turn and you know, get on this ramp, get off this ramp uh, spot on it. So if internet service is lost, the phone breaks, anything like that, I'm not driving aimlessly, you know, through Mississippi or Alabama or Louisiana or anything like that. Food wise, I'm keeping about 3 days worth of food in the car. I've got dinner for the night that I'm staying at the campground, uh, several protein bars, and I'm probably going to bring 3 or 4 of my Nalgene's. I've never been to Florida Sea Base, so I don't know how much walking is involved for the training that I'm doing. But I've got a big 48 ounce Nalgene. I've got a dozen or more of the 32 ounce, and I've got 2 of the 14 ounces. So I drink 2 of the 32 ounce Nalgenes a day. So I'll bring 4 of the 32. I'll bring the one big one and both of the small ones. Just in case, I don't want anything to happen. I'm going to knock on the wood on the steering wheel of this car. If something happens and I get stuck stranded somewhere, I don't think I'd be stuck stranded for more than 10 to 12 hours, but you never know. I might have to pitch the tent next to the car or sleep in the car, and so I'll have the food and water for that. I'm bringing one of my bandsaws and a hatchet in case I want to have a campfire at the state park. And I'll be bringing one of my firearms, or technically 2. One for the glove box, one for the trunk. Because, you just never know. In the back seat, I already have, my little tote that I keep all this stuff in. But I'll also have my day pack with me. The tent that I'm bringing will not fit in the day pack, even with nothing else in it. But the tarp will. So will 50 foot of paracord, a day or 2 of food, and probably comfortably 2 of the big Nalgenes, and I can clip one of the smaller ones on me. Sawyer Mini's going in the backpack. Compass is going in the backpack. The map is going in the backpack. And the firearms would come with me as well. It's better to have all of the things that you need in case you have to, hoof it back to your home. But that's also why I have a credit card that is specifically set at $400. I basically never use the thing, and that's in case any issues with the vehicle. I can pay the deductible for roadside assistance, or if that doesn't work, it's able to pay the deposit on a rental vehicle. Other than that, it's just the confidence in your training and your skills and the supplies that you bring with you. My wife knows where I'm going. She knows the route that I'm taking. My grandpa definitely knows where I'm going and the route that I'm taking, because he's the kind of person, he really enjoys the Life 360. Anytime my aunt or uncle come down from Chicago, he is tracking their route. And he'll call them if it says they've been in the same spot for over an hour. So in some ways, technology is extremely useful. So several people know and, understand the route that I'm taking. And I also have an Army buddy that just, He's going to flight school in Alabama. And so at about the halfway point of the trip, or even 4 hours out from Alabama or 4 hours into Florida, he's my closest contact in case, things go south. And, that's a nice safety net in between family having come from Texas to deal with, any of these different scenarios. Other than that, pay attention to your surroundings, and your trip should be perfectly fine. And this goes for all preppers when it comes to vacation, if you travel for work, if you are visiting family for the holidays and you're doing anything that's 4+ hours away from home. All of the things that I'm doing are things that I think every prepper should, create a checklist for. And, I think the reason why a lot of preppers prep is we treat it like insurance. When you have car insurance, you sleep well at night knowing if there's any issues with your vehicle, you've got car insurance. You've got health insurance that helps you sleep at night knowing that if anything medical comes up with family, everything will be all right. And we prep because of the awful what if situations throughout life that helps us sleep better at night. And we shouldn't stop enjoying life or quit this job or not go see this family and visit this place because it's X hundreds of miles away from all of my preps and all my time and energy, because that makes you that crazy nut job that doesn't live life. So with that being said, if this video taught you something, leave a like. If my channel has taught you something, then subscribe. Join our growing family. And lastly, if you have a friend or family member that benefit from the discussions that we have in these videos, then share the channel with them and have them join the family. The very last thing that I think I'm going to start adding to this outro is if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. And we're small enough right now that I answer all of them. Lots of them I turn into their own individual videos. And, I don't care if in several years this channel has, tens of thousands of subscribers. I'll do my best to answer your questions or turn them into videos. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.